Aloha, and welcome to the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. I am your host, Murph. Hey, listen, it's been a couple of weeks. I apologize for that. I did not put out a show last Tuesday, and there were a couple of reasons for that. I had a last-minute cancellation of a guest that I was going to have on the podcast, and I was not prepared to put out a podcast last week. So I apologize for that, but we're going to get caught up on what happened in the last couple of weeks with not only with local golf here, but also with PGA action and what's coming up next. So let's go over the last couple of weeks. I know Sunday is our FIA match for the gold, for the championship belt at Moanalua Golf Club. Now, those guys did play. Joe P., I believe, shot 67 to retain the belt. However, I did not play because, as some of you know, I am a Packers fan, and the Packers played Tampa Bay on Sunday. So I went to Giovanni Pastrami's down in Waikiki to watch the game with a couple of buddies. And we had a great time. The game was not so good, but we did meet a lot of great people. We met two couples that were actually from Wisconsin there watching the game. So it was interesting to get to talk to them and talk about our experiences watching a game in Green Bay when I went and watched the game there. So that was enjoyable. And then we met a couple other couples, and we had a good time. The game, oh man, I'll tell you, that was crazy. I did not agree with a couple of calls that were made. It was ridiculous. There was a couple times Aaron Rodgers could have ran for a first down, and then when they kicked that field goal, you got to go for a touchdown. Come on, guys, really, you got to go for a touchdown. You can't kick a field goal in that position. But other than that, it was a great time. I don't know if any of you local people have been to Giovanni Pastrami's down on Lure Street in Waikiki. It's kind of across from the Yard House, but it is a great little bar and restaurant. They have great food. One of the best things is their pizza. They have really good pizza, and it's a great place to watch a Buckeye game on Saturdays during college football season because it is a huge Buckeye bar. There's probably 70 to 80 Buckeye fans up there in the bar area watching the game on Saturdays during college football. And what's pretty cool is they have a guy that played in the band. That would be the best damn band in the land, the Ohio State Buckeye band. He actually played in the band, and he plays the trumpet every time they score. So that's pretty cool, too, on Saturdays during college football season. If you're local and you're a Buckeye fan, come down there. They also have a Buckeye Club where you can join, and I think I don't remember how much it is. I've never joined it, but you get an Aloha Buckeye shirt, which is pretty cool. So, but anyhow, so that's what I did on Sunday. I don't know. I was disappointed with the game. I think there was a bad call. And now, granted, it wasn't a bad call in the sense that it didn't happen, but to call a penalty that late in a pass interference that late in the game when and our guy did grab the Tampa Bay guy's jersey, okay? Like you can clearly see that on TV. It should have been a penalty. But the problem I had with it was they didn't call that same play earlier in the game when it was against the Packers. So, listen, I don't want to be one of those conspiracy theory guys, but I think that the NFL wanted Tom Brady in the Super Bowl at his home stadium. And I'm not a Brady fan. I don't hide that fact. I'm not a Tom Brady fan. Part of the reason being he went to Michigan, and I'm a Buckeye fan, and we don't like Michigan. So that's a bias on my part, I guess. Is he a good quarterback? He's a great quarterback. Greatest of all time? I don't know. A lot of people think so, but, it's weird. With football, it's totally different. And not only with football, but also with basketball. Those are team sports. So an individual doesn't necessarily win the game. Does Tom Brady ever win a game for the football teams he played, the Patriots or Tampa Bay, it takes other players to make that play happen. He didn't throw the ball, run down, catch it, and score a touchdown. That's not how it happened. He threw it to somebody. So that player was involved too. Now, I'm not trying to take anything away from Tom Brady. He's a great quarterback. But to say he's the GOAT, the greatest of all time, I don't know about that. He has won a lot of Super Bowls, but I don't know. In the second game, we even stayed for the second game, and I have to tell you, there was a guy in a Buffalo Bills t-shirt sitting across from us kind of against the wall, and he was facing us during the game, the Tampa Bay and Green Bay game, and he kept cheering every time Tampa Bay did something, and that kind of irked me just a tad bit. So when the Buffalo game started, he actually turned around and was facing the wall to watch the TV up on the wall that was behind him originally. And there was a couple that we met, Jesus and Rachel. They were sitting over by the exit, the emergency exit. And then there was two other ladies that were Buffalo fans, and they were sitting there. So I told them before the game started, I said, hey, look, I want the Buffalo Bills to win this game. And I truly did. I wanted Buffalo to win the game. I wanted Green Bay to win. I wanted Buffalo to win. And I wanted Green Bay and Buffalo to be in the Super Bowl, which, by the way, I received a couple of emails and phone calls from listeners correcting me a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about these matchups, because apparently I said that Green Bay was playing Buffalo in this game that weekend, which was not correct. I think what was on my mind was I wanted Buffalo and Green Bay to be in the Super Bowl. So I stand corrected. I made a mistake. I apologize for that. But anyhow, so I told those Buffalo Bills fans, I said, hey, look, I want Buffalo to win, but every time Kansas City does something good, I'm going to be cheering very loudly. And it's only for the benefit of that gentleman over there sitting in the Buffalo Bills shirt, because he was rooting against my Packers during the other game. So it was funny because every time that Kansas City would do something good, I would cheer really loud, clap, yeah. And then I would look at the people that I had talked to, the Buffalo Bills fans, and I would make like a fisting, like, oh, shoot. Ugh. But he didn't see me doing that. His back was to me. So I was being really vocal, cheering for Kansas City, but these guys were cracking up laughing because I was like, oh, shoot. Ugh. Like that every time Kansas City did something good, because I really wanted Buffalo to win. I really did. I mean, Buffalo's been there 4 times and has not won a Super Bowl. So it would have been kind of cool to watch them go into the Super Bowl and win it. Now, Kansas City and Tampa Bay. I don't know. I'm going to root for Kansas City. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a Tom Brady fan. But I think that the NFL wanted Tom Brady in the Super Bowl with a different team at his home stadium. I've had a couple of buddies, ask me about the game and about what I think about it. And it's hard to bet against Tom Brady. But, man, I don't want him to win. So I don't know if I'd want him to win. Another thing that was pretty cool was there was 2 couples that were sitting next to us at a table next to us that were actually from Wisconsin. They were Packer fans. They were there during the Packer game. And so it was interesting to talk to them and discuss, because I had been to Reggie White's last home game at Green Bay at Lambeau Field. And I told him about my experience there going to like Lombardi's old ticket office, and having a drink in Lombardi's old office. But I believe they said that that's changed now. It's no longer a bar where they had that. So I don't know. So that's what I did on that Sunday. I did not go and play in the Fia belt match, which, like I said, I believe Joe P shot 67 to retain the belt. And I've told him, we've been playing Tuesday through Friday in the Murph game, and I told him, I'm like, dude, you better play like this when we play in the 4-ball, because we need to win that. Represent Moanalua Golf Club. Then Monday, a couple of weeks ago, we played the Beach Boys. We played Coral Creek. Played all right. I didn't play great. I shot 77. I think I won a greenie or something like that. It wasn't anything special, but this past Saturday, we played a VGA, Veterans Golfers Association Tour tournament at Pearl Country Club. And wow, what an experience. But before we get into that, Hey guys, I got to tell you, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you how. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Not only that, but Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other sites. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM. Take a short break and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. So, as I was saying before, we played a VGA tournament at Pearl Country Club. First off, Pearl Country Club is in pretty good shape. It was kind of deceiving. The actual greens out on the course were pretty slower than the practice green. The practice green seemed to be pretty quick, but the greens on the course were actually just a tad bit slower. Did not play great, and it was actually that course. What they did was my buddies went in the morning. They played like at 7:30 a.m. separate from our group. They went and played like at 7:30. We played, our first tee time was 11, I believe. I think my tee time was the last tee time at 1:34 p.m. Now, we didn't tee off until almost 2 p.m. I think it was after 2 because it was so backed up. The course overbooked so bad that it was so backed up. We did not finish. Well, we did finish. We played all 18 holes. But the last 3 holes, 16 we played, was getting dark. 17 was completely dark. 18 was pitch black. We could not see anything. We just guessed where our ball went. Luckily, I found mine in the middle of the fairway. And then I hit it up on the green, but I couldn't see the green. I was just kind of guesstimating. I've played there several times, so I know where it's at, but we couldn't even see it. It was ridiculous. They completely overbooked this course, and we didn't even get to finish and play, decent golf. I think I ended up shooting 79. I lost by 1. I think the guy that won our flight shot 78. Nick Lewis ended up winning, shooting 78. And it's no fault on the VGA's part. We had 71 or 72 players, I believe. And it was a good turnout. There was guys that were on the waiting list that never even got to play. So the VGA is picked up in membership, which is awesome. And it's also awesome because the skins game, actually, the pot was $960. And there were only 2 skins. So each skin won $480 for having 2 skins. It's awesome. It's great to have that many people out, but it's also kind of a drawback. And I've let Shep know. Shep's been on the show, and I let him know. I'm like, dude, we can't go out that late. And it didn't help because they were even backed up. And then when I saw Chris at the Murph game, at Fia on Sunday, he was upset because they were delayed early in the morning. They were delayed. It's because the course overbooked the tee times. You got to spread that stuff out so you're not backing up and people aren't getting able to finish. So that was Saturday at Pearl Country Club. Then we played Sunday the Fia match, and I did end up going and playing. I was actually going to skip that one and not play and just take a day off to kind of regroup because I've not been playing really good golf. But I decided, I'm going to go play and give it a shot. And Joe P shot 69 and retained the belt. I want to say I shot 77 or something like that. Did not play great, but I think I shot 35 on the front. Joe shot 33 on the front, so I was down 2. And then we made the turn on the back, and I just screwed up, did not play well. Ended up, I believe, shot 42, so shot 77 total. And Joe just played, I think he played even, he played even golf on the back. Shot 3 under on the front and even on the back for a 69. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to our 4-ball tournament coming up here, actually this month. It'll be at the end of this month, the 28th and 29th. So hopefully we play well. So today, Monday, the Beach Boys played Eva Beach. Man, I really like Eva Beach golf course. That course is always in great shape. The only complaint I actually have, even the bunkers were good today. I didn't have any problem with the bunkers. There was plenty of sand. They played like they should be played. The only complaint I would have, and I don't even know if anybody from Eva Beach is listening to this show from the golf course, but if you are, man, on Mondays, when the Beach Boys are there, please open the restaurant. You guys are losing out money we had 17 guys today, and we're up there eating and drinking, so you guys are losing money on Mondays. And if anybody's listening, open up on Mondays, at least when we're there, and our dates are scheduled for the whole year out, so when we're going to be there. But it was a good day. No rain. Stayed pretty nice. I didn't play horrible. However, I did not play well enough to win any money. I shot 74, even par on the front and 2 over on the back. And I got to say, we've had an issue with slow play with the club, and we've tried to address it in the past, and it doesn't seem to work. So about a month ago, we came up with an idea that we were just going to penalize whoever was playing slow, that if they did not finish within 20 minutes of the group in front of them, then they would forfeit half of any money that they won in any of the games. And fortunately, we have not had to enforce that rule on anybody until today. And unfortunately, I mean, look, I understand, and I also agree that you got to have pace of play. You cannot be taking 5 and 6 hours to play a round of golf. If you're in the first group or the second group and you finish and maybe you had a chance to win a skin or you won a greenie or a chippy, you're waiting on people to come in because you got to wait for the last group. We usually have 3 to 4 groups, and you're waiting on the last group to come in, and they're taking over an hour to get in. You can't sit there all day and wait. Some guys got to drive across town. They want to miss traffic. They got other things going on. So you can't sit there and wait. And now they can't get paid if they won. They're not going to get their money until the next week if they can come and play the next week. So we discussed this, and we decided that we were going to institute this penalty that if you do not finish within 20 minutes of the group in front of you, then you are assessed this penalty, half of any of your winnings. And I felt bad today because a buddy of mine, he won a lot of money. He had a couple of greenies. He had low net. I mean, he missed out on almost a couple $100 because he only got paid half of what he would have won, because his group finished way beyond 20 minutes of the group in front of him. Now, and I see his point. He brought up, well, that's, those guys took a 10 and 11. They're doing this, they're doing that. I said, I understand. And that gives you incentive to push them along in your group. Listen, if I'm playing with a guy, if I've got a chance at winning some money, I'm playing good, or I've hit a couple of greenies, or I've hit a couple of chippies, and the guys I'm playing with are playing slow, you can bet I'm going to be on them. Hey, you better not cost me no money. Let's go. Pick up the pace. We're falling behind. And I did say that to the group, the guys I was with today. We kind of fell behind of the lead group. We were in the second tee time. And the lead group, those guys play kind of fast. They're not slow golfers. And we got almost 2 holes behind, and I told the guys I was playing with, I'm like, guys, we got to pick the pace up, or we're going to finish 20 minutes behind these guys. Not that I had a chance at winning any money. I didn't play good enough today to win any money. But I told those guys, you got to pick up the pace. Let's go. We got to go. And we did, and we got back to within where we should be in the right position so that we finished, within that 20 minutes. But you got to be on your guys. And I told the guy today, I felt bad. I really did feel bad. I don't like doing that. He's getting penalized for, a couple of other guys in the group. And I just told him, I said, look, Tom, I don't want to say his name. I just said, look, if it was me and I'm playing with these guys and they're playing slow, I'm going to leave them. I'm going to drive. You want to take a lollygag and take your time? I'm going to drive up and hit my ball. It's ready golf. We play ready golf anyhow. So I'm not going to fall behind and risk the chance of losing any money that I may have won because you want to be slow. You want to play slow. Now, granted, the guys I was playing with, they're not slow players. And we didn't get out of position because they were slow. We got out of position because we lost a couple of balls and taking time to try to find them and that kind of stuff. So that was our reason for falling out of position. It wasn't so much because we were playing really slow. But there's some people in our group that play really slow, and they know who they are. It's upon you to move along, hit your shot. Technically, you have 40 seconds to hit your shot. After you get to your ball, you have 40 seconds. There's people, I'm telling you, if you're on the putting, here's a bit of advice for you guys playing. If you're on the putting green and you're playing with a foursome and you're the person out and you hit your putt and you hit it to like a foot of the hole or 2 feet of the hood of the hole, tap it in. Don't mark it and then get back and wait and then line it up and do it. We have people that do that. Just tap it in. You're not playing for millions of dollars. You're not playing for millions of dollars. You're helping the pace of play. And when you have to mark it and wait and do all that, you're just taking up more time that you didn't need to take. So just putt the ball in. If you're that close, putt it in. I don't know. It's just aggravating. It's just aggravating for people to do that kind of stuff. And then they want to know why they're going to get penalized. Well, that's why. You're not playing for millions of dollars. Just putt it in. So anyhow, other than that incident that happened today, it was a pretty good day. It was nice out. After we got done, we were on 18 and it rained a little bit. Not real hard, but enough to be annoying. So anyhow, our next VGA tournament, I know we played Pearl Country Club this past Saturday, but our next one is going to be at Hawaii Prince. That'll be the next VGA tournament. And that is, I believe, the 30th of this month, I want to say. And then we have another one. It's going to be, we play, I believe, April 11th. That one is at Colina, and it's pretty awesome because it's right, I think it might be the day before. No, it can't be the day before. I think it's that week before the LPGA comes out for the Lotte tournament. And so the course should be set up pretty nice. Matter of fact, they're not allowing us to drive on the fairways. So it's going to be cart path only. Obviously, they want to keep the course in pristine condition for the pros that come out to play in the Lotte. So they're not going to just allow us to screw up the course, drive everywhere, and, cause any ruts or whatever. So that will be a good tournament because the course will be set up pretty nice. And it usually is nice. Colleen is a good course. I don't know if many of you guys have played there or not, but it's a good course. And if you ever come here, you should go play it. It is really nice. So let's talk about some PGA news. Before we do that, though, let's take a short break. This podcast is brought to you by Smart Boy Studios, the best studio and artist collective out of Ohio. Smart Boy Studios provides recording, mixing, and mastering services, as well as any other audio post-production you need. Smart Boy Entertainment artists Corey Gossett and JV Tree have a new EP out on November 20th, 5 Day Friends. The 6-song project explores the fun and friendly energy that these two artists have on a track together. With production from D Swove, Vesta, and Ash Matthews, you can't help but to bob your head, tap your foot, and sing along to the stellar set of tracks. head to www.smartboystudios.com to stay up to date on new music, new videos, and any upcoming events. If you'd like to support Smart Boy Studios and their artists, visit threads.smartboystudios.com to check out their merch. They offer hoodies, hats, shirts, and more. All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's talk about some PGA news. So we've had a couple of tournaments that have occurred over the last couple of weeks. The first being the American Express, played at the PGA West Stadium course there in Palm Springs, which is, we played the Golf Channel National Championship at La Quinta there at Palm Springs. We didn't play PGA West, but played the other courses. It's a great place to play golf. Little warm, not so humid, but just warm. So the American Express was played, and winning that tournament was Si Woon Kim. His third win on the tour of his career, and he shot 23 under, which took him to birdie 2 of the last 3 holes to shoot that, but he edged out Patrick Cantlay, who shot 22 under. And bringing up third place was Cameron Davis at 20 under. Then this past week, just finished up on Sunday, the Farmers Insurance Open played at Torrey Pines. Patrick Reed was your winner, and we'll have a little discussion on Patrick Reed here in a minute, but he shot 14 under. And coming in second place, actually, there were five players tied at 9 under. And so Patrick Reed ended up winning the tournament. I don't know if you guys saw it, but listen, I'm not calling the guy a cheater, but from what I saw on the video, for those that don't know, so Patrick Reed hits his second shot on this hole, and he finds his ball, and he asked the marshal that was standing there if they saw it bounce, and they said they did not see it bounce. However, on the TV replay, you can clearly see that the ball takes a bounce. It hits and then bounces and then comes to rest. And so Patrick Reed goes up and picks his ball up to identify it, which he's allowed to do. You're allowed to pick your ball up and identify it, but you have to replace it exactly how it was. Now, after he replaces it, when he replaces it back where it was, and I'm not saying, I don't know for 100% certainty that that's what happened, but it looks like he pushes the ball down, like he's pushing on it to make an indentation in the ground. Then he calls for a rules official to come over to look at the ball to determine whether or not it was embedded, which means that the ball actually hit and plugged into the ground, which you would normally get relief for if that's what happened. And the rules official makes the determination that it was an embedded ball, so he gets relief. Now, folks, let me tell you, if the ball bounced and then came to rest, it did not embed. It would have embedded when it hit the first time, but it bounced and then landed. That's not an embedded ball. So how did the ball get embedded? How did that ball get embedded that the rules official would make the determination that it was an embedded ball? There's only one way that happened, and that is somebody pushed it down into the ground so it was embedded. And like I said on the video, if you watch the video, it looks like that's exactly what he does, that he pushes the ball down. Why would you want to have that reputation? I'm not even a professional golfer, but my integrity for the game, I've called penalties on myself that cost me club championships before because I have that integrity. That's what this sport is about. This sport, there's no referees. There's no officials out there calling penalties on you for stuff. This sport is designed, this sport was made that you call the penalties on yourself. You have the integrity to call the penalties on yourself. That's one of the greatest things I love about this game. I would never risk my integrity of this game over anything. And I'm not playing for millions of dollars like those guys. I'm playing for a $5 Nassau. But I would never do anything that would risk my integrity of the game. That's one of the last things I would ever want to be known as a cheater of the game. Heck, my brother and I almost got into a fist fight in New York one time playing golf with my dad, and he tried to say I cheated. And I was so mad that he would insinuate that I cheated at this game of golf. And I'm not trying to brag, but I don't feel I need to cheat at golf. I don't need to cheat. You know, if you hit a bad shot or if you catch a bad break, that's part of the game. I'm not going to cheat to make myself better, to try to make myself. That doesn't do anything. You're not improving your game or your integrity as a person by cheating. And like I said, I'm not coming right out and calling Patrick Reed a cheater. This isn't the first instance that he's had where it's been kind of a questionable thing. If any of you guys remember, I believe it was last year or the year before when he was in a bunker and he took his club back and was brushing the sand back like improving his lie and acted like he didn't do anything wrong. And they caught it right on TV. It was right on video. Why would you risk that? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not playing for millions of dollars. And I'm not saying he did it for that reason, but it's clear that his ball did not embed on its own. On the video on the TV, they even caught it on TV that the ball bounced. And when it bounces, it does not embed. It didn't bounce from 30 feet, 40 feet in the air. It bounced from like a foot in the air. That's not going to embed. I'm sorry. So Patrick Reed won. And not only that, but I read a thing today that the sportsbook, the betting company, was offering refunds to people that did not bet on Patrick Reed to win the tournament because of this that happened. So they obviously believe that something fishy was going on. It's just ridiculous. I don't know why anybody would risk their integrity, their reputation. You're a professional golfer. Why would you want that reputation? It's changed my attitude, my thought. I like the guy. I liked his fieriness, like at the Ryder Cup that one year. I liked him, but now I would never root for the guy. I don't believe he was honest. I don't think it. Sorry, I don't want to come right out and call him a cheater, but that ball did not embed. It bounced, and just because the marshal didn't see it bounce doesn't mean the TV caught it. It's on TV. You can, I haven't done it, but you could probably go to YouTube and find that clip and you can see where the ball bounced. Just type in Patrick Reed cheating or whatever and see what comes up. Like I said, I haven't watched it. I'm going to do it after the broadcast and see what it does, but I haven't done it, but I know a buddy of mine said something about it. So who knows? I don't know. But anyhow, Patrick Reed won 14 under. Tony Finau came in second. Actually, like I said, there was 5 players. Him, Norlander. There was 3 other guys. I can't think of their names right now, but there was 5 of them tied at 9 under. And Tony Finau, man, I tell you, that guy has got some talent, and it just seems like he loses it towards the end of the tournament. But anyhow, he's a good player. I like Tony. That's another thing. If you guys haven't seen that, Tony Finau, if you don't know anything about him, he spent some time in Hawaii. But type into YouTube Tony Finau and the Masters. When he was playing in the par 3 challenge thing, he hit his tee shot and then was kind of like running down the fairway or down the slope from the tee box, and he was like started like jogging backwards and like dislocated his ankle. And then he popped it right back in himself right there. It was crazy. But that guy got my total respect when he did that. I was like, and then he kept playing. I was like, geez, this guy's a player. So anyhow, Tony Finau, good player. I like him. And hopefully he's going to get a win here soon. The tournament starting this week, February 4th through the 7th. We got the Waste Management Open, TPC Scottsdale, Arizona. Last year, Webb Simpson won the tournament. another guy that I'm really a fan of. I love his demeanor on the golf course and how he handles himself, if it's a birdie or a bogey, you can't really tell the difference. The power rankings, they ranked Jon Rahm number 1 as far as having a chance to win this tournament. Number 2 was Justin Thomas, and number 3, Webb Simpson. And he's been in the power rankings towards the top here several times so far this season. I don't know if you guys have ever watched this tournament, but if you haven't, it's not going to be the same this year as it's been in past years. This tournament is the most attended golf tournament in the world. I mean, it's dubbed the People's Open. And the reason it's dubbed that is because the amount of fans that show up for this tournament is unreal. In 2018, there was almost 720,000 fans that attended that tournament. And 216,000 of those fans, almost 217,000, showed up on Saturday for the third round. This tournament is crazy. Like I said, it has the most fans out of any golf tournament in the world. Now, obviously, with all the COVID stuff going on, this year's tournament, they're only going to allow no more than 5,000 people per day. And obviously, this tournament is known for hole number 16. It's a par 3, and it is one of the loudest par 3s ever. I mean, people show up at dawn for this tournament, and they stay way past sunset. It's crazy. The environment is crazy. And after the players hit their tee shots, you'll see them walk down along the stand where the stands are, and they'll be throwing merchandise up there, hats, shirts, whatever. They're throwing stuff up into the crowd to give them. And the caddies, what was cool was the caddies used to race from the tee box down to the green. There's been some crazy races. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but go to YouTube and just type in Phoenix Open Caddies races, and they will pull up several clips. There's been some guys that have taken some spills. I'm like, there's one where they're two brothers, and the one does like a flip, and the bag falls off, and I'm surprised he didn't break any clubs. And then his brother, he's in front of his brother. He's caddying for somebody else, and then he's coming up and running, gonna go past him, and he almost tries to tackle him. It's crazy. But the PGA kind of put a stop to that because they didn't want caddies getting hurt because they were doing, all kinds of crazy stuff. So, but that is an awesome tournament, and if you never watched it, you need to. And on the 16th hole, I mean, like I said, people show up at dawn, and they go there, and if they get in there early, they're not going to leave. They stay on the 16th hole the entire time. And it's one of the few venues where the players will get the crowd pumped up, want them to cheer really loud while they hit their shot. Usually golf is a quiet sport. You don't hear people yelling and cheering when a player's trying to hit. But on this hole for this tournament, that's exactly what happens. It gets crazy loud. It's nuts. So that's what's coming up in the PGA. If you guys have any questions or topics you want me to discuss, shoot me an email. Hopefully, I've had a couple of guys that want to be on the show, so I'm going to bring them on hopefully within the next couple of weeks. And like I said, I apologize for getting the show out late to you guys and not putting a show on last week. I know. Here's the thing. I have a buddy. He's like, "Hey, what happened? I put your show on to go to sleep to, and there was no new show." And I said, I didn't say this, but I'm thinking to myself, well, were you putting my show on to go to sleep because I'm boring? Or did you put my show on to go to sleep because of my soothing voice that makes you go to sleep? So I didn't say that to him, but I was like, yeah, I had some stuff going on. So, but I'll try to get back on it. And I've debated, I've kicked around the idea of maybe only doing a show every 2 weeks instead of every week. But I've just been kind of kicking that around. So shoot me an email and let me know if you want me to continue to do weekly shows every Tuesday, or would you prefer to have it only once every 2 weeks? But shoot me an email and let me know. Or if there's other topics you want me to talk about, or anything like that, shoot me an email, murphsplace808@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the podcast, there's a link for that. You can help support the podcast for me to keep bringing content. Listen, if you guys have any other questions or any other topics, like I said, that you want me to discuss, please shoot me an email or go to the Anchor website and leave me a message there. I hope everybody has had a great couple of weeks these last 2 weeks. And like I said, mine was kind of crappy at the beginning with the Packers losing, but it's gotten better. You know, you got to keep a positive outlook. And obviously, I'm going to be rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs. So everybody have a great week out there. Stay safe, stay healthy. And if you're playing golf, hit them straight, hit them long, but don't hit them often. Aloha, everybody.